Hello, my name is Pauline Gavrilov. I'm an activist of the French Socialist Party in the 2nd district of Paris. I will tell you about the singular and new political experience that I made during the primary election of the French Socialist Party in May 2011. It was an innovative process for the simple reason that it was the first time when all the citizens were able to vote, to choose the candidate for the presidential election in May 2012. To be able to apply, I had to collect 17 signatures among the 319 socialist MPs and senators, according to the Electoral Code. This experience allows me to test the two following points. Firstly, to test the openness of the primary process. Secondly, to test the consistency of the ruling of the Socialist Party with the citizens' expectations. My assumption was that an open process would allow the emergence of a new candidate. Indeed, new faces would be welcome in order to renew our political party according to the 2012 Socialist Presidential project, the project for change. In fact, the selection of a new candidate will prove the renewal and the democratization inside of our party. This process will allow us to break with the deplorable policy carried by Nicolas Sarkozy and his government. You certainly have noticed for 20-30 years it's always the same candidates we have to choose from. Candidates who belong to the structure of our political party. What made my application different from the other one? In one hand, I come from the private sector. I work as a consulting engineer. I also benefit from a strong international background. I work in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan, for the European Commission as an EU TASIS program officer. I also worked for the Organization of Cooperation and Security in Europe, in Bosnia for the implementation of the Dayton Peace Agreement. On the other hand, I would have been able to speak about topics that are not enough studied for the time being during the presidential campaign. For instance, the equality between women and men. My experience required a lot of work. 319 written letters, 319 sent email to the 319 socialist MPs and senators. I also went to the Parliament and to the Senate to support my application. As a result, I got in total only 4 answers. 4 answers out of 319 requests. A little bit more than 1%. It's still very little anyway. The result has shown that there is a margin of improvement in the openness of the process. The very little percent of answers that I receive showed that the process was not open enough to the activists. It has also demonstrated that it's very difficult for new people to enter the political field, and especially for women. The French society is transforming itself very fast. People are expecting a new sustainable economic model. They want to implement an innovative economy and an economy of knowledge. The rate of renewal inside of our party is an important point. If the gap between the party and the society increases, how could we be able to respond to the big challenges that we will have to manage in the very next future? If we compare the situation with other countries where primary election has been held, in America, for instance, we observe that Barack Obama won the election against Hillary Clinton. In France, we have to choose between two former first secretaries of the Socialist Party, Martine Aubry and François Hollande, who were the finalists. The question we could ask is, if there haven't been any primary election, would the result have been different? We can consider the primary election process a pivotal step and a huge opportunity to give legitimacy to our candidate for the presidential election, François Hollande. My experiment reveals two of the final results. Firstly, it is still possible to improve the degree of openness of the primary electoral process. Secondly, it is still possible to improve the consistency of the ruling of the Socialist Party with the society's expectations. To reach those targets, we could set up an activist college that we have the legitimacy to sponsorship the candidates. In this way, and according to the Socialist Presidential project, we will run for the victory with François Hollande in 2012.